focus mainly on is the small business owners, especially who have employees, 10 to 15 employees or under, and most of them cannot afford to provide healthcare benefits, even if they want to. They want to, but they can't. So we provide options where they don't have to pay anything, but
Oh,
still can
wow.
provide.
All right, and welcome back to our Spotlight Member of the Month. I'm so excited for this month, October. We have Raju Datla. So, Raju spent over 25 years in IT as a software engineer. He's a tech leader who has built multiple successful IT teams. He's a real estate investor, he's a podcaster, he's passionate about self-discovery and spiritual growth. I think he's probably one of the only people that I know that has read more books more often than I have. But he loves to connect and see how he can connect people with people. He's also currently got a little surprise we're going to talk about towards the end, helping with a startup. But his focus right now has really been his affiliation with HealthShare broker and a private equity venture partner. So, Raju, thank you so much for coming on. We're so excited to have you.
Thank you, Erica. That was a mouthful. You had to lead a lot there.
Yeah, it was, hey, you've done a lot of
I should have
things, right?
shortened it.
And I will, so you were in IT for such a long period of time. So you had IT, you were in leadership, you've done real estate investing. So you've worn a lot of hats. Let's kind of start by, grounding our people and our listeners. Let's ground them in your journey. What made you decide after so many years in IT, building successful teams and leading these tech initiatives, what made you decide to pivot and get into health benefits and private equity? How'd you get into that?
So yeah, it's a long story. I am very passionate about tech. So spending a lot of time, obviously, building teams. And I mean, I was more than before building teams. I was hands-on, that's what I enjoyed, like creating solutions for businesses, mostly big companies, not small. They were small in between. But along the way, I think it's like, yeah, 8 years ago now,
Oh, wow.
forced, and I was at that point looking at my options and hey, I'm not where I want to be
Mm,
economically, financially. So that's got into the health share venture, although it started more little bit more real estate centric. That's how we met. I
yeah.
was more involved in the real estate side. I still do investments. I have a fix and flip going. It hasn't sold. Anyway, that's a different story.
If anybody needs the MLS link, let us know.
Right, right. But so then 2.5 years ago, the company I was working with started the health share. At first, I was like, "Oh, this looks like a great option whenever I want to be, self-employed." But what they did there, they are more of an AI platform. They created this incredible solution to provide group benefits or group healthcare. Essentially, it's almost similar to health insurance, except unlike health insurance, regular health insurance, there's no network. You can go to any doctor.
Mm.
They give, they do a lot of things like not only negotiate prices for you, like after you go to the clinic, they can cut your costs up to 72%
Oh my
on your.
gosh.
So that's a huge thing. And then also, like for a family, for example, family of three or more, they only count up to three. After that, you can have 10 kids. It doesn't matter. Same. Imagine that savings. And apart from like the normal health insurance, because I've done my own health insurance where I had to take it because I was self-employed at one point, where if you have a family, each person has a deductible,
Hmm.
right? Versus this one, it's one deductible for entire family. And
One big swoop.
if you start counting all that stuff, right, that's a huge, huge savings for anybody. And what I focus mainly on is the small business owners, especially who have employees, 10 to 15 employees or under, and most of them cannot afford to provide healthcare benefits, even if they want to. They want to, but they can't. So we provide options where they don't have to pay anything, but
Oh
still can
wow.
provide, right? And that's who I focus on. That's who I try to help. It's showing them there is a solution. You don't have to. I mean, if they choose to, they can provide, Yeah, there's ways to do it. Not there's ways to, they can. I mean, at times we have seen where people would, based on the cost, they'll provide the entire one because it's so cheap for them compared to normal health insurance. Because, for the small businesses, it could be 50% or above savings potentially. Anywhere between 50 norm from the normal health insurance. So anyway, I'll pause there basically because, any questions you had some question maybe. So
Yeah, I think so. That's really valuable, especially on the small business owner side. So you are a broker for HealthShare. Can you
Mhm.
give us, if we pull back and say, okay, from a high level, who is HealthShare and what is their focus? What do they bring into the marketplace for people?
Great question. So health shares have been around for 40, 50 years. Mostly they started in the Christian, mostly churches. And that's
Mm-hmm.
what used to be mostly related to where people used to share the pool, pay for the bills. So it was a very manual process. That's what it was known. And then once Obamacare came in, that's when health insurance started exploding because Obamacare made it more expensive for people.
Yeah, we saw health insurance prices skyrocket during that time.
Skyrocketed. Yeah. And, which I already shared, if you're in Texas, next year you're going to see 33% increase around that. So it's going to be huge. You
All
you
right, y'all
get
Texas people, just when things can't get any more expensive, we're going to see it go up even more, is what you're saying.
right, yeah. So that's when the ACA is also going to go, that's going to increase. But with this, what was the difference was, although it's technically Christian principles or principles, that's how we operate, you don't have to be a Christian. Because personally, I'm not. I mean, I'm spiritual, so mine is more a little bit more universal kind of belief system. But the fact is, you don't have to be Christian. That's one. The other one is ours is an AI tech platform, five, I think seven patents, if I believe, and they actually bought the original technology from Google
Oh, okay.
and then put their own patents around it. And ours is the only one, as far as I know. I mean, I could be wrong. I haven't done, I've looked at, I think I couldn't find anything else, but maybe there one exists that can do the group. Because normal health starts are more mom and pop where they, either you have like a network, you have to go to that person and either pay it off pocket and then you get reimbursed. No, ours works exactly like insurance. You get a card, you can give it to the doctor, but it has no network. You can go to any doctor. If they don't accept it, then they'll pay you, reimburse you directly once you pay them. So that's how it works. And they have, uh, find the best prescription possible, better than GoodRx. They have the system to do
And that's
that.
all done through the AI, right? They're able to identify where's the best place for your prescription or this uh,
Exactly.
procedure or visit.
Yep. Yep. And also negotiate. The other part is obviously negotiate. We also have negotiated pricing for your visit. Like they put, I don't know, 100K. It might, I mean, I've seen literal examples where 100K came down to 10, 15K,
Oh,
right?
wow.
Because, there's a lot of stuff goes on the health insurance and health clinic side where they're charging. We don't know. I mean, how do you? I know. What they do is they basically reprice it based on the Medicare pricing.
Right.
So that's what they do. So most people don't know about it. So obviously you get paid, you pay whatever they charge you. So anyway, so there's a lot of other benefits beyond the low cost of the monthly premium you pay. We call it share amount, but in a traditional insurance, it's called the premium, right? So anyway, and then yeah, so I would say that's the biggest thing. I would say even if they don't come to me, look into that,
Yeah.
right? There are options for you, small business owner. It could help hugely in your employee retention too, right? That's the other thing. So
Well, and it's funny, I mean, I can think of just a handful of people that I've known for a while that are self-employed, they've got big families, a lot of them have their kids homeschooled, but and my aunt and uncle were the same way. They had like their own little community health insurance pool, right? It was like private
right,
insurance because It was too expensive to go into the marketplace. They didn't have employer benefits, so they kind of created it. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Right.
Um, and this was 15 years ago, right? And so I think you're right. We've started to see that, oh, this works. Privatizing this type of most of the time when we privatize things, it's just better, more effective, more efficient, right? So privatizing this has a lot of benefits. And so you guys have taken that model and made it more accessible to everyone. And from what it sounds like, you don't even have to be in like a family. You can be in a small business, so a business owner can offer this type of health share benefit to the employees.
Employees. Yeah,
And
we
it's
can cover any number. I mean, I only
wow.
focus on 10 to 15, but we have other people affiliated. My mentor, like works with big corporations, like venture capitalists and stuff. So
So
I don't.
you're
I'm not.
you're looking at lower premiums. That's a big deal. What would you say are some of the other benefits or pros that you're able to get from utilizing the health share? They're negotiating your prescription prices and able to negotiate prices.
Not prescription. Prescription prices is one thing. That's the minor thing. The main thing is your actual clinical costs. Like if you have a major procedure, and I don't want to exaggerate because I've seen these examples, so I don't want to throw big. I've seen big ones, but let's say 10, $15,000 bill you were billed. Maybe portion of it's not covered because your essentially deductible has not met. Whether it's
Mhm.
not met or not, it'll be probably 2 3 thousand. I've seen that where 10 15,000 bill went to 3,000 something, and your deductible is only, I don't know, whatever, 500 something. You pay that. That's the big benefit. But beyond that, let's say for me, I pay 300 right now. It's $300 per month for a $2,500 deductible per year.
Oh, wow.
So that's there, right? But for me, I'm a health nut, so I go to gym and all that stuff, right? So guess what the company did? It's a nonprofit organization. That's why they don't care about making
Mm.
money. They're more concerned about you do or or whoever the customer doing well and getting the best benefit. So what they are now done is up to $150 a month. They will take it off the deductible if you're using it on the health plans like yeah,
Wow.
supplements, all that stuff.
Gym
So
memberships.
yes,
Man.
that's the biggest one where it's like you're paying barely then your deductible becomes around $700, let's say, for example.
Yeah, that's huge.
It is that's a huge benefit. And also alternate medicine, they're introducing a lot of stuff. Oh, sorry, I forgot one more thing.
Yeah.
They do have, dental and vision included, no extra cost. It's a hugely discounted, essentially, plan, essentially in the network. That does not have a network. The network of whatever the doctors, they give you I mean, 50% of less pricing than the normal. So that's
Wow.
something free.
Which is
So,
so crazy because I mean, like so many people are talking now about how you pay so much for health insurance and you have this deductible. And
right,
yet, health insurance is for our bodies, but somehow our teeth and our eyes are treated completely different on different health plans with different
exactly.
deductibles. And I mean, it's just one thing after the next. So this is a plan that includes all of it. Dental and vision are still within an in-network program, but a
That one, yeah,
share,
in network. Yeah, there's a
yeah.
network. Yeah, you have to look up the network and go to those people.
But we're doing
But
that
hold on.
anyway.
Yeah, I mean, usually, but our main plan doesn't need network. You can see a specialist anytime you want. There's no referral needed. So
That's
that's
powerful.
also there. They're also, I think, incorporating functional medicine, stuff like that. I don't know if there's that 100% implemented yet, but I believe that might be also included, maybe in the future, perhaps.
Hopefully
Uh,
coming soon.
right,
I have
yeah,
a
because
girlfriend that went to a functional medicine doctor and she's gotten a lot of good results. There's one here in Dallas that I keep saying I'm going to go see. I haven't made an appointment to go do it, but it's, I think people are starting to realize the value that comes from, not just there's prescriptions, there's all different tools for different jobs, right? prescriptions like have a purpose, but also healthy lifestyle and figuring out the problem from the inside out and being functional with your body, right? Like working out, eating right, like the value that you can just get from living a healthy lifestyle. There's benefits to that, and there's doctors out there that can help you identify what's going on in your microbiome
Right.
and fix the problem from within. So that's exciting to hear that there's insurance programs out there
Mhm.
acknowledging that and taking value in that.
I wouldn't say insurance because I got to be careful that legally I'm not supposed to say insurance. So
Okay.
just a
The health share program. Thank
HealthShare,
you for
yeah,
catching me.
HealthShare, yeah, yeah. So just to make sure, yeah, no, that I mean, I feel like in the future that's going to be the big change. There was a time I think health shares were cropping up, but then my understanding, previous administration put a kibosh on it, so they weren't allowed to create more.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't know if that's going to change with the current administration or not, but I, yeah, future, who knows, right? But as far as I know right now, this is the only one that does all the things that we are doing essentially, which I explained. There are other shares, like I said, but I haven't seen one that caters to like the businesses, network issues, all that stuff. As far as it doesn't exist. Every other health share plan I've seen usually has a network type of thing going on. So,
So, a lot of people that I know and am connected with are here in Texas, but can you guys go nationally?
yep, we are national.
Okay, so you're national. You're not just in Texas.
Yeah, no. Except I think if you live in Washington right now, uh, um, not go political, but there are a couple of blue states that don't allow.
Interesting. Okay, so what you're talking Washington State, right?
Yeah, Washington State. New Jersey just started allowing it because New Jersey was also not.
Hey.
I don't know what other state, but the thing is, if you're living in other states, you can go there and get the, coverage, all that stuff.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's
Yeah, and
just,
that might be something to, if you let's say if you live in Washington and this is something that you feel like could be valuable. Hey, the squeaky wheel gets the grease, right? Like if we, write our senators or write to our congressmen and do all those things, like, hey, let people know this is something that would be valuable to you. If you look at it and you think, hey, this could be good, let people know. So that might be
right.
good. Let's pivot real quick because we also have Meridian 84. So you are a part of this private equity firm.
Mhm.
And I guess kind of let us know with your private equity side,
Mhm.
who are you serving with the private equity? Who are your primary clients and what are you guys doing in that space? Please make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. The more people that we can connect, and again, with this real talk, with real money talk, our goal is to show you real people who are making real money and how you can do the same thing.
Great question. So yeah, so one of our private equity main focus is small to mid-sized businesses. I would say 1 to maybe 8 to 10 million EBITDA. Our focus is not acquiring them mainly. Our focus is more helping small business owners who are looking to do scale up.
Interesting.
Yeah, so somebody who already has experience running a business, we partner up with them. One is coming as equity partners, provide the capital potentially. If they have capital, that's great too. I mean, we'll provide the additional capital. That's one. Number two is how to scale, market, organically grow, build effective teams, systems, and processes, especially somebody who doesn't have experience maybe owning multiple businesses, scaling up and all that. That's where we come in and help. I'm more of on the venture side, but which we'll get into on some of the things I'm personally getting involved. That's what I'm trying to do is scale up. But team building wise, that's where I come in. I'm more of a venture partner. I'm bringing in the small business owners. I kind of screen them, see where they're at, how they want to grow. The bigger the goal, the better it is for us. We love to work with those people. Or we can also provide consulting. Hey, we're just looking to see how we can scale. We can potentially provide consulting services, but that's not our main interest. Main interest
Yeah.
is people seeking to grow, and buy more businesses, acquire more businesses is where our interest is. And okay, I'll go into the what areas we focus on. One is medical space.
Oh,
Anything to
okay.
medical space?
Sorry, I'm taking notes, so I'm looking over here.
Sure, sure, no worries. Yeah, the medical space. The other two is infrastructure, critical. That means anything related to construction, all that stuff. Right now, we're venturing with a general contractor who wants to grow in multiple areas.
Mm.
So that's, HVAC, plumbing, all that stuff, right? Anything to do with that. Any B2B SaaS we might be interested in, but it has to be specifically B2B SaaS and niche one. So those are the three primary focus. So we try to stay away from anything just purely tech related. In the B2C side, for sure, we avoid, we don't. But anything in the services, that side, construction, critical infrastructure. I'm just saying construction, but it could be, bridges, whatever. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter. So,
So in your process, when you're meeting with these business owners and determining if this is a good fit or not, what are some common threads? What are some common
mhm.
traits or situations? Like, what are the things that you're seeing in these business owners that you're like, yes, this is a person we can help? Is there any ideal avatar? People who are stuck in XYZ situation?
Sure. So they have grown a business or at least have at least a million revenue and ideally at least $1 million EBITDA. They already have that. Maybe they own one business, two business, but now they are not, satisfied with just having that $1 million EBITDA and looking to scale up, essentially do some roll-ups or build I don't know, equity model, essentially bunch of businesses, maybe scale it up to 25, 50 million, 100 million. So that's first conversation. What are you looking to do? So the avatar would be, hey, I own this, we'll just so simple. I own this HVAC business. I have two, different locations right now, but I want to build multiple HVAC in different states, locations. And right now I'm at like a couple of $1 million or $1 million EBITDA. I'll just go with the 1 million simple, but I want to grow it to 10 to 20 million EBITDA. How do I scale it? How do I market it? How do I build systems? And the money to buy these
Mm.
businesses. So the focus, that's would be the first questions like, hey, what is it you're looking to do? How big are you trying to grow? And do you have a plan? And if you don't, that's where we can help. Like, hey, here we can help you with the marketing. We can help you with the systems and processes, all that stuff. So that's kind of where our avatar is. Somebody successfully ran something, knows the business. He doesn't need help with at least the core part of the business. What he needs is help with the system processes and the money.
Which I would argue is a
Mhm.
majority of people, especially in probably in honestly in all these, in the medical, in infrastructure, HVAC services, most of those people are very good at what they do, right? I'm a good medical professional. I'm a good construction. I know how to develop. I'm good at HVAC. I'm good at plumbing, right? Like these people are really good at their skilled labor,
Mhm.
but they may not have the business understanding or the background to implement. Marketing is so hard. I really did not value that all out while I was in school, but now I see like it's marketing is difficult. Getting those systems and processes, right? Making the business run behind the scenes while you go do what you're good at,
Mhm.
that is where most people get hung up. And so Meridian 84, you guys are stepping in to be able to
Mhm.
say, hey, you've done a great job. You've built your business and you're doing what you're good at. Let
Mhm.
us help you get to the next level.
Right. Then last one, not but the least, my favorite subject is think, mindset, shifting the
Mm.
mindset, working on their mindset. That's kind of where I am one of the focus point. I tend to work on that side, or at least I'm focused on that side, is the shifting that mindset. Because if they're already successful, they know what to do. It's just that thinking bigger, for, challenging them. That's the other thing, right? So we have the people who have done it. Like the guy I'm working with, his name is Abi. He does all this keynote speaking for real estate, by the way, so realtors and all that stuff. But he's owned 30 plus businesses, seven different startups. So he knows how to scale businesses, how to market systems, processes. And we have other surrounding experts 30 plus years in the business world. So we have multiple people. I'm in more tech side, but they have experiences. One heavy experience in the defense industry too.
Oh,
Ex-NFL player and all that stuff. So anyway, so yeah, we got all kinds of people to as a support structure to help. I also brought in a few people that have experiences with building systems and processes. So we have all this support structure. The people, have to have that, I guess what do you call, the wish, or I don't know, the drive. I
yeah.
guess they're looking for the drive. They're just looking for the support
Yeah.
for financially or the systems and process and marketing wise.
That's really powerful because, like I said, so many people are in their business and they get burnout. I'm reading Buy Back Your Time. I've already finished it once. I'm reading it again. I'm going through it a second time. Um, and I mean, I know you and I, that's where, we talk about so many of the books, but there's so many, the traction, the EOS system, rocket fuel, all of those are so built on systems and processes and getting your business running so you're not having to do everything manually. So I know that's incredibly powerful.
Mhm.
And for Meridian 84 and business owners, there's a partnership that's come in here to
Right.
help them. And so you guys are able to bring in capital as a private equity firm. You have a business owner out there
Mhm.
and they say, "Hey, I need help. What does it look like? Can you walk us through, hey, I'm a business owner. I've tapped $1 million in revenue or EBITDA. I
Mhm.
might have a couple of locations, but I'm stagnating, I'm plateauing, and I'm
Mhm.
ready to get to the next level. What does
Mhm.
it look like? Can you give us what the process would be to work with Meridian at 84? Like, hey, I'm going to reach out to Raju, and then this is what happens. Can you map that out for us?
Sure. So let's go with a different example than HVAC. Let's say medical, right? Let's say it's a doctor owning a couple of clinics. For example, one of the ones we're working with is med spa. We're looking into med spa. We already got a plan in place. Let's say this owner owns a couple of med spas, right? Dallas Fort Worth, and they want to grow. Maybe 5, 10, right? So they come, reach out. Let's say they reach out to me. My question first with, what are you looking to do? How many you're looking to grow? Obviously, I'm going to push for, not that's not enough. Let's go bigger, right?
Yeah,
That's how I like to
that's
see,
the
right?
mindset, right?
Right. So push that, right? But the first conversation is, okay, what are you doing? What's your systems? What's your team like? What do you got? Hey, I'm making this much EBITDA. Let's say it's half a $1 million EBITDA, but revenue is maybe 3, 4, and it depends. Usually 15 to 20% is the EBITDA. So based on that, I would say it'll be probably 8, $10 million, right? Revenue, maybe at that point. I'm not sure. I can't do the math that quick.
That's
Anyway,
okay.
yeah, I'm an IT guy, but I'm blanking on that. But whatever it is, that's the first conversation. All right, where are you looking to go? Okay, what's your target? Where are you looking to go? What are you trying to do first? And do you already have businesses in mind that you're looking to do?
Mm.
And so that's the first question. And once we have that question, and then I get some information, like give their bio data, everything, like hey, how long they've been in business, what's their revenue like a one pager kind of deal. Then I send it to Abby, set up a meeting. Mine is more seeing where they're at, because I only like to work with good people. So if they feels like great fit, great to work with, then only I set up the meeting.
Yeah.
Regardless of the numbers, doesn't matter. So I got to get that feel. If I don't, then yeah, it's
You
no
got to
fun.
pass the vibe check, everybody. Like,
Right. That's pretty
I
much the
don't
number.
blame you. I know exactly what you're talking about. There's people that have more zeros, and I don't care. We're not in alignment. I get it. I get it.
Doesn't matter. Like, yeah, recently there's someone I dealt with who talks big game, big money, but yeah, just the vibe check wasn't good like that. I don't care what the
Yep.
money is. So, it doesn't matter. So anyway, so yeah, that's how it was start working, and then we figure out, okay, what's the equity? So we are more. So normally traditional private equity is more like, hey, they'll buy the business and grow as fast as possible and sell it. We don't like operate that way. We're more partnership model. So that's why it's critical that whoever is going to run the business is a good partner
Mm.
and has the right values and with combination, all that stuff is good. That way we can work with them long term. Well, hopefully, everything goes quickly and 3 to 5 years, they grow big enough and they want to sell it off, retire, whatever. Fine. That's great.
Or they can
But
buy out. They want to maybe keep it and they can buy out,
yeah,
whatever
whatever that looks
portion.
like. Yeah,
Yeah.
whatever that looks like is fine. But our long goal is long-term cash flow first. Create the cash flow and the value, grow exponentially possible, organically as much as possible, not just social media and marketing like ad dollars. That's his specialty. Abhi, the one I work with, Abhi Gohar, which I'll share. When I talk to someone, I'll start sharing the information once I see there's a potential because we like to let them go take a look and see if they want to work with
Yeah.
him, right? So that's there too. So that's kind of how it works essentially. First conversation, get some numbers or information, and then pass it on to Abhi. If there is like the vibe check is there, then yeah, pass it on to Abhi. Then we have a meeting together, then see if it's a fit or not. So
That's fantastic. So I would assume that going into this partnership,
mhm,
the degree of that partnership, whether it's 80/20, 60/40, 50/50, whatever that looks like, that's going to depend on the capital that you need, right? So that's and because I know that's what's running everyone's mind. Like, all right, we've got private equity come in. Like, how much do they want? So do you guys have like a set standard, or is this something where, like you go onto Shark Tank and it's like, all right, sharks, I'm
now,
I'm willing to give you X amount. What does that look like for you guys?
no, it's basically one-on-one negotiation or business owner to us negotiation, right? So it
Wow,
all
that's
depends.
awesome.
Yeah, same thing like capital and what is it? What other help do you need? Let's say, for example, something they need with marketing, right? Then Abi has to jump in, put his time in, or get some help there. Then that's different, right? You got to get more money for it, or more equity because you're putting sweat equity in there.
Mm-hmm.
But it's more just mainly capital and some advice, consultancy on systems processes that might look different. So
Mm-hmm.
it all depends on the level, in depth, help unit. Then the person who's helping obviously gets a little bit of equity, right? For example, let's say I'm more into the leadership and building teams and all that stuff. So if I were to help them there, then I would get a little bit more equity than the normal I would get. So I
Yeah.
got an agreement with Abhi what I'm going to get for each one if I don't work anything. I'm just connecting and doing the front end work, then that's one. But if I'm active, then that's a different, right? So
Yeah,
that's
you're putting
how,
in the time, right? So you're just getting compensated for time
right,
spent on that project.
right, exactly.
Absolutely. That makes total sense. So I'm thinking about this. And so you've got the Health Share program, which is super exciting for business owners. I know individuals, you don't have to be a business owner to do it, but you specifically are working with business owners that have, 10 to 15 employees. Um, and then you've also got Meridian 84, which is a private equity firm
Mhm,
that works with small business owners to help them scale to the next level.
mhm,
They, both of them in the business owner world, but a little bit different. I'm just kind of curious. So what do you think about your past
mhm,
in IT and building teams and your leadership there? What lessons or experiences in the IT world and building those teams, what's
mhm.
carried over into your work with business owners on the health share and the private equity side?
Yeah, one thing definitely is failing, right? I learned in my IT world, even before I got into leadership role, is failing is
Mm,
good, right? Learning to fail fast and do that.
yeah.
And funny thing, many times, when I got into the business world, that didn't sink in that I already know that stuff. Like failing fast and like learning from the failures is far more valuable than succeeding. So that didn't translate at first, but now does. That's number one. Second thing is teams. I've learned, like, I've done real estate. I've done Airbnb. There's other stuff. I build teams. I've learned how to build teams effectively, and I've learned everything is about the team. What team?
Hmm.
And doesn't matter how big of a business, small of a business, if you don't have team, you're doing a solopreneur. I know a lot of solopreneur thinks they're entrepreneurs, but their job. It's a job.
Yeah, you're employed by yourself. Like you're still an employee, just you're an employee of yourself.
Yeah, your customers are your employers, so you're still on a job. So that's the thing that kind of translated into business world where I've been in or done some of the stuff I've done. Those are the two. And the last one I've learned with last year, I've suffered some losses with entrepreneur passive investing.
Oh,
Sorry, some people, I know thinks passive investing, but I've learned that if you want to succeed, you have to have a hand in it somewhere. If not, it's not going to, unless you're doing some REIT, syndications, maybe.
right.
Even syndications, you have to pay some attention to what's going on. If you don't
Yes.
understand what the syndication is doing, then we have some examples of that too.
Oh
You
my,
know,
it's
perfect.
been, yeah. I'm telling you, like a lot of people that have been on recently, um, that are in multifamily. I mean that, and like I'm in that space a lot, and that unfortunately is a very common occurrence in the syndications is passive investors. We if we're going to be a passive investor, we're passive on the operation of the deal, but that doesn't mean that you can be
Right.
passive on who it is that you're investing with and monitoring what they're doing, right? You have to manage the managers, and I think a lot of people have learned their lesson on that.
Yeah,
I'm
because I'm
guilty
a
of that too. So that's a lesson that I've learned over the last 2 years. So you're,
yeah, me too. I mean, I've lost money on the real
yeah. Oh,
estate.
me too. Yeah. It's been
So,
it's been a rough couple of years, but I think
right.
you nailed it right on the head. And even the last 2 points are very similar. It's all about the people, right? Your team, and then even in the passive investment world, and it's having insight into who it is that you're working with, right?
Exactly.
And making sure that we do the due diligence on the people, not just the project. I
Right.
mean, it's crazy. I mean, I interview at least one person a month
Mm,
across a variety of different industries and background, everything. And it's
mm.
always the same answer, people. That's the number one, you
It
know,
is.
good or bad, number one effect on your business.
Definitely. I mean, AI is taking over a lot of things, which I am kind of involved in that part, doing businesses, but it's still people because if you can't trust the people, you don't, yeah, if you don't verify the people properly, then yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Absolutely. So let's we've talked about your businesses. I want to kind of transition to you a little bit because,
Mhm.
I've gotten to know you over the last few years. And like I said, I know you're super passionate about your self-discovery and personal development. You read a lot, your spiritual growth. So what are some things that you've done or read over the last few years that have really impacted how you do things now? And how does that influence how you show up as a leader, as an investor? As a guide in when you're working with business owners.
Mhm. Sure. There's a lot, when you're reading through all this book, sometimes you don't see the impact till you get into some. So right now, as we talked about, I'm in a startup right now. And the startup I'm involved in, the CEO is very experienced. Four different previously, three successful. Okay. And this one is going to beat all of them. I know that because of the market, what I've seen, what it got. And I initially went in to see more help with the dev side, tech stack, build a team, maybe that kind of deal. But then he kind of put me in a different category. Like, no, you're going to help me grow. And that was a shocking to me. Wait, me? Like, you're like a super successful guy. What am I going to do?
Yeah.
But that's something, I've realized now. I've seen that in my different interactions where many times I feel like maybe my ego is getting too big or something when I'm trying to give advice. But then I've learned now, like, No, it's just I'm giving the stuff I've learned that I see now in reality. One of the things that become clear to me, one of the things I've learned, still a practice. I don't know if I'm, there's never,
We're
there's
lifetime learners, right?
never, yeah, there's never, anybody who thinks they're an expert is full of BS. That's what I've learned.
Yep, red flag.
Uh, red flag right there. So what I've learned is, is more things see clearly. I've dwelt into a lot of psychology, spiritual, soul, all that stuff, brain, how the brain works, is to see clearly when people are saying what is being unsaid. So listening to that carefully, being curious, what's being unsaid,
Mm.
and why you get the in-depth understanding of the people. The funny thing is, with the family and friends, maybe it doesn't work as well because you're kind of caught up.
Yeah, there's a little bit more emotional involvement there.
Right, a little bit more emotional. But with others, I'm able to get off or see from a different viewpoint, be from the curiosity, and that seems to translate well into what I'm doing now. I mean, I wish I did all this stuff 15, 20 years ago. I would have been in a different space, financially and everything wise. But I've realized now that I've been focused last 2, 3 years more on the tech side where doing hands-on. But lately now I've realized, no, that's not where my calling is. My
Mm.
calling is for helping people grow fast, do all that stuff. So I sort of have to, sort of need to pivot right now. I'm already pivoting there. And that's where my focus is going to go on, where all this book reading, spiritual, I do a lot of meditation, all that stuff is kind of now I realize this is where it's leading me, talking about God and all that stuff. So, God, universe, whatever you believe in, will show you that path. You
Yeah.
just have to go with it whenever you see it.
And we need to listen, right?
Yes.
Like people always talk like God doesn't talk to us anymore. I'm like, maybe he
Right.
does and we just don't listen. We have so much noise in our world. When we think back in the day, they didn't do anything, right? They were out in nature. They were quiet. They didn't have distractions and cell phones. Maybe he does talk to us and we just don't hear it because we have so much noise going on. So you're right, like being quiet, being in nature, being, I mean, people who know me know I love the spirituality and getting connected, but you're exactly right. Regardless of what you believe in, bringing it down and getting down to the base level and listening is, let it present itself. That's incredibly powerful. And I love what you said. Like that really spoke to me because a lot of you're listening to what people are saying to hear what's not being said. And again, I'm not trying to get political or anything, but I think a lot of people right now, there's a lot of turmoil, there's a lot of noise, there's a lot of division. And I see it and it breaks my heart because I see people on both sides, right? That are yay this or nay that.
Right.
And in reality, I know these people and I know that they're good people. I know that they have a good heart and I know that they want what's best and they're not evil or bad or whatever, propagandic word comes across our Facebook page, but
Mhm.
they really are good people. They just have this perception. But what's to your point, like what's the unsaid? What's the below what's beneath what's being said verbally, what is beneath it that's not being said. And that really spoke to me when you said that because I really think I'm trying to do a better job of that. But I really think if more people did that and were listening for what, the unsaid, you said it so much more eloquently than I did. Oh my gosh, how much power would that be if I heard somebody that was raging and yelling and just angry over this XYZ? Like, what's at the core of that, right? Or somebody who's spitting something really ugly or hateful or whatever, like let's take a step back. Like what's at the core of that? What are you really angry about, right? And getting down deeper. Like I love that you said that and I love that you do that because we need so much more of that in this world. And that speaks to you as a leader because that's so hard to do.
It is. So I won't go that level where somebody's yelling at me. I see here to behind. I'm more talking about the normal conversations
Yeah, that's
where
fair. That's
people are
fair.
saying something, but really there's something else there. Sometimes I call it out, but sometimes I don't. because it's not appropriate. Let them realize I've learned some of those lessons, but let them come to they'll eventually come to their own conclusions.
Yes.
I know that ahead, but I don't tell them because let them, because sometimes it's not your role to really, tell them that because some people won't, most of us won't get the lesson till it's been taught multiple times.
Or, and there's been times I've acted completely out of my own character, and I look, and if you are an emotionally mature, self-aware person, you're going to be laying in bed in the shower doing something later, and I can't tell you how many times I've reflected back, and I'm like, if I could punch myself in the face, like, dang it, Erica, like that's not the right way, right? So most of us are going to reflect on if we didn't say or behave the way we would really expect our best selves, we're going to think about it on our own. So, like you said, sometimes it's not appropriate to throw it back in people's faces. So, again, another level of emotional maturity that you're bringing to the table, Raju. That's incredible.
I don't know about that. Yeah, I have my own emotions. I just learned to accept my emotions,
Yes,
deal
I love it.
with it.
That's so, so powerful. Okay, so we're gonna wrap up. I know we're coming up at the top of the hour, and I really want to make sure we get a couple of things. One, if you're talking directly to business owners that are, let's talk about the healthcare costs. Small business owners struggling with healthcare costs. What is one piece of advice that they can act on today?
So I would say first, if they are providing healthcare benefits, then definitely look at the health share plans options, right? Now, one drawback would be that pre-existing serious pre-existing conditions won't be covered. So that might be a factor if they have
Mm,
those. But there's different options so that we can talk, when they contact me, they can cover. But I would say whether they come to me or not or same health share plan, just look up the alternative ones,
yeah,
not just the traditional health insurance. Health insurance, if you go dig deep in, it's a real mafia. Now I know because I got deep into it. I know what a big mafia it is. So just look at the alternative options. Just don't think health insurance is the only thing and think, just because everybody uses it, that's the best one, that's the most reliable one. No, they can cut you off anything.
yeah.
Doesn't matter, regardless of what they say on paper.
You know what? I'm going to tell you, you and I have had this conversation. My husband is an RN. He works with patients, but he does a lot of behind the scenes, administrative, supervisory, medical, like insurance billing and things like that. And he's done it for a long time. And I think since stepping into that role, has started to realize, like you said, what a mafia it is, and some of the stupid games behind the scenes that play. And they're like, oh well, the patient needs this, but this is what we have to do, and just all
Right.
of the nonsense. And the people, like, people, citizens, insureds, whatever you want to call them, they're the ones that get stuck in the middle.
Yep.
So it is not just blanket. Go out there, figure it out. And like you and I talked earlier, squeaky wheel gets the grease. Get out there, make some noise, and figure out what your options are and figure out what works for you and your family, for you and your company. Because
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. Don't just get stuck on that whole it has to be health insurance or traditional health insurance, big companies. So
If you're, and I'm making an assumption here, but if you're a healthy person, do you feel like you are definitely a good candidate? Does that make it even better?
it's 100% better because the stats are there's only 5% take up the more than 50% of the health insurance costs. Those are the unhealthy people.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
most of us are healthy, like 90% something are healthy, mostly healthy.
yeah,
So
absolutely. All right, and one other question on the private equity side. For entrepreneurs, if they are really dreaming and planning on scaling multiple businesses, what is the first step, even if they may not be ready quite to schedule a consultation, what is the first step they should take to prepare themselves for the scaling process?
create a plan. What does it look like? Where do they want to go? And then have the conversation. It might be 1 year, 2 years later, doesn't matter. I enjoy talking to those people. If it's not me, somebody else, right? But yeah, I mean, have a plan. If they have a plan, then reach out. Like, this is what I'm looking for. How can you help?
Yeah.
It's the start of conversation. It doesn't have to be extensive, like, oh, I got this big, huge plan, everything mapped out. Then what do you need a private equity firm? You don't probably need, right? What you need is a vision, a plan. Here's where I want to go. How can we help them?
And that there's an analogy I use. I was talking to somebody else about this the other day. If you don't know where you're going, like you might get somewhere eventually, but imagine, back in the day before we had the GPS on our phone, we had to look at a map and we had to figure out where we're going. And when you figured out where you were going, you could identify the best, most efficient road to get you there. You could figure out what are the pit stops, where are we going to sleep, where are we going to get gas, all those things, right? So if you don't know where you're going, it's really hard to create a map to get there. So identify what your end goal is. Absolutely. I love that.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the start. Yeah.
And I know I'm going to put your info for your podcast out there so you guys can hear. If you've enjoyed hearing from Raju as much as I have, you can hear even more from him. So I'm going to put his socials. I'm going to put his podcast link. Do you want to drop your podcast name real quick and give a shout out?
Yeah, it's called Mindshift to Health and Wealth. Although with the new startup I'm involved, it's kind of a little bit back burner, but I still share my, like some of the stuff I come up with spiritually or, mindset wise, and the books. For sure, the books will be shared. I read probably a book every week or every other week. So pretty
Like I said, he's one of the only people I know that reads more than I do. So, and that's the thing. Yeah, check out his socials. He posts book reviews. He's got his podcast. Um, Anything else? Anything in particular that you're excited about, or want to give people a little teaser?
Yeah, no, like I said, the startup I'm involved in, our goal is to change or create, basically get the American students or the kids to the highest reading level in the world, topmost. So that's our focus of our startup. I'm involved in. So that's in education, but there's a bigger goal even beyond that. But for now, first goal first.
Yeah, for now, you're focused on in rapidly and beneficially increasing the American literacy rate and really taking that back
Reading
under
level,
control.
basically reading level is mainly reading level of the kids to be the best in the world.
Oh, so if y'all, like I said, if y'all are interested in that, get connected with Raju. Like I said, I'm gonna put all of his socials and everything out there. I'll put it on the screen as well. Make sure you get connected with him so you can stay tuned for all of that. And it's coming fast. Like next year.
Yeah, actually, it's already there. Yeah, we're planning aggressive. So yeah, by early next year, probably most of Texas.
Oh, that's exciting. So yeah, make
Oh,
sure you get connected with him, and stay tuned for all of those big changes that are coming down the pipeline. Okay, two final questions. Number one, what is your favorite quote, mantra, something that you live by?
I'll go too far because these are kind of related. One is when people show who they are, believe them. Number one,
Mm.
multiple times. I've learned that. Second is accept reality as it is, not how you want it. Your life will be much easier.
Oh, I love it. Fantastic. I like that. I like both of those. I hadn't heard the second one. And then the very final question. Let's say later on down the line, when people think of you and they're thinking back about you, what do you want them to remember about you?
I don't know. I mean, I don't even know what I want to remember, but yeah, I guess somebody who's always consistently looked inwards,
Mm,
be the best version possible, but the future version is always the best version. So that's what I strive to.
I love that. I can say that I would think about that when I think about you. So you're doing a great job of holding that. All right. So again, we'll put all those out there. Be sure to connect with Raju and hear about what Meridian has to offer, HealthShare, and the new startup coming in education. Texas is gonna get the benefit first. I'm a little
Yes.
biased, but hey, go Texas. But everybody else, hopefully, we'll see that come across soon. So in the meantime, y'all, please make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. The more people that we can connect, and again, with this real talk, with real money talk, our goal is to show you real people who are making real money and how you can do the same thing. So, Raju, thank you again so much for coming on. Again, We will see you guys next time. Until then, keep it real.
Thanks, Erica. Thanks so much.
At Infinity Investment Strategies, we teach investors and business owners how to become the bank. In using the infinite banking strategy, you can lower your taxes, increase the control you have over your own money, lower your risk against multiple wealth eroding factors by adding additional layers of asset protection, and increase your leverage with guaranteed growth and the opportunity for dual rates of return. With authorized infinite banking practitioners with experience in business and investments, we are here to help enhance your portfolio.